meeting, and then we'll take a few questions. High Representative, you have the floor.
Thank you, Maya. I had the opportunity already to debrief you on our point on the Iran nuclear deal, so I give it for done. I'll focus on the remaining points we addressed with the ministers. First of all, somehow a related issue, always on nuclear non-proliferation. We decided with the ministers the adoption of new European Union autonomous measures against the DPRK, measures that complement and reinforce the ones already in place decided by the UN Security Council. The measures we adopted today take effect immediately, so as of today, and our new measures include a total ban on EU investments in the DPRK in all sectors, a total ban on the sale of refined petroleum products and crude oil to the DPRK, and lowering the amount of personal remittances transferred to the DPRK from €15,000 to €5,000. Also, a decision not to renew work authorizations for DPRK nationals, obviously in line and in consistency with national laws. We also added 3 persons and 6 entities supporting illicit programs to the list of those subject to asset freeze and travel restrictions, on top of persons and entities that are already listed in compliance with the UN Security Council sanctions. We also decided with the ministers to launch a démarche together, European Union plus member states, towards a certain number of third countries, mainly in Asia and Africa, so to make sure that a robust implementation of all UN Security Council resolutions is done by all UN member states. This in full coordination with our partners in the region. We are keeping regular contacts with the United States, Russia, China, the Republic of Korea. I'm meeting the foreign minister of Seoul later this week on Friday in Brussels, and obviously Japan and others. Another point so this brings the level of pressure, economic pressure and diplomatic pressure from the European Union side on the DPRK to a maximum level. DPRK is the country on which the European Union has the toughest autonomous and not only autonomous measures or regime in the world, and I guess the European Union is the body that has the toughest sanctions regime of the world on DPRK. This for us is aimed at opening that political space for negotiations that currently we do not see. We know out of experience that economic and diplomatic pressure can open space for diplomatic negotiations. We do hope that this set of measures will do so in the coming future. We then had a point with the ministers on our relations with Turkey, more on the foreign policy angle. You have seen for sure developments inside Syria, in particular in the north with the de-escalation zone around Idlib and Raqqa. We've discussed these issues with our partners in Turkey. I had a telephone conversation this morning with Minister Çavuşoğlu on this, on the situation in Iraq, including the Kurdish issue. We see Turkey not only as a candidate country that will be addressed tomorrow at the General Affairs Council, but also as a regional player that is crucial for us under many different aspects, from the regional crisis to counterterrorism. And this is an important element to bring in the picture. So I will bring the debate we've had with the foreign ministers to the European Council that will address relations with Turkey later this week on Thursday, to reflect again not only the accession negotiation talks but also the foreign policy and regional angle of our work with Turkey. We also had with the ministers a long and fruitful discussion on our work on human rights. The European Union is one of the global players that still puts human rights at the centre of our foreign policy. We believe this is a matter not only of values and principles but also of interest. We believe security is strong only when it is sustainable, which means based on active participation of all citizens. And we exchange with the ministers the best ways to pursue our human rights agenda, our human rights dialogues, also with difficult countries, our work on development, humanitarian, girls and women, and many other things where the European Union is leading the way, and consistently so. So we will continue. I've seen full determination by the ministers to act with unity and consistency in this field. Maybe I should also mention, as you say, proactively, that we adopted conclusions on Myanmar that you might have seen, and that will be, I think, an important basis for us to work also in view of the ministerial we will have with ASEM in Myanmar at the end of November. That will also be an opportunity for us to address the situation there, and where our call is to have an immediate end to violence, to have the government working to grant full, safe and unconditional humanitarian access without delay, and a sustainable return for all those who fled their homes. We have, as European Union, stepped up our humanitarian assistance for Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh, and obviously we stand ready to assist on activities in the Rakhine state. We also launched today a new civilian mission, a CSDP mission of the European Union in Iraq. It will focus on assisting the Iraqi authorities in implementation of the civilian aspects of the Iraqi national security strategy. It will be deployed to Baghdad by the end of the year. As I mentioned, Iraq, there are news in these hours that are obviously of great concern to all of us. This was not an issue for discussion with ministers today, but I will have a telephone call with the Prime Minister Abadi, immediately after finishing this press conference, so I will discuss with him also the situation in Kirkuk and following the referendum.